Everything will change for Assassin's Creed in 2024. We will not only see massive new titles released that I want to tell you more about, but also the launch of Assassin's Creed Infinity, which will be our go-to hub for everything Assassin's Creed moving forward. It will be the first thing we see when we boot up future Assassin's Creed games, starting with Red. Think of it as a menu that will show a lot of different Assassin's Creed experiences, keep you posted on the latest news and updates, and also let you jump between those different titles immediately. And high chance the older games will be featured in this somehow as well. It's not really new. Call of Duty is actually doing something similar already with their HQ, where we see different Call of Duty modes and games, can install and uninstall particular content, and also quickly play the title that you want. Now, Infinity does seem to take it a bit to the next level, because it will also include the modern day story moving forward. As I told you before, starting in 2024, the modern day won't be part of new releases, but instead be told through the Infinity Hub, as Access the Animus nicely demonstrated here. So it will be more optional. If you don't like the character going out of the Animus, well, then you don't have to engage with it anymore. But for people who actually do like that part of the series, it will likely mean that there will be a more coherent story made by one team instead of switched around between developers of mainline titles. It also seems that there will be kind of a clean slate, with Insider Gaming reporting that significant portions of Red's modern day story that again will be told through the Infinity menu will be set in the last decade of the 21st century, so 2090 till 2099. As such, Abstergo Industries will be getting a whole new cast of characters for players to explore. Which makes sense, as this will kind of mark a new beginning for that part of Assassin's Creed, and it will all start with the release of Assassin's Creed Red at the end of 2024. So let's go over that and the other big Assassin's Creed title that will release in 2024. If you are interested and hyped for the future of Assassin's Creed, then drop a like to show your support, and of course subscribe, because I will keep you up to date here on the channel. But first, the sponsor of this video, LG UltraGear, as they have some insane discounts on their really impressive displays, like the 45GR95QE that I've now been using to play Spider-Man 2, and it's truly wild. This was the world's first 240Hz OLED gaming monitor to have ever existed, which means the colors really pop, black is truly black, and the curve helps you immerse yourself into the game way more. There's anti-glare and low reflection on the screen. It's surprisingly thin thanks to the OLED technology. There's a very easy to use remote to, for example, go to the settings, like the display has a VRR support, so you can play certain games at a way higher frame rate, also on console. And again, there's an insane discount for the screen right now, $500 off, and there are also discounts on other LG UltraGear monitors for a limited time, so totally check my special link in the video description to not miss this deal. That would really support the channel as well. And now let's get back into it. So the first thing that will happen in 2024 is the second beta for Assassin's Creed Jade, or as I like to call it, Assassin's Creed Odyssey 2, but for iOS and Android. It really looks a lot like it. We will meet Cassandra in the tutorial, and it even has the Hades armor set and other gear from that game as well. So I was able to play this free-to-play title at Gamescom and came away pretty impressed. It has a full-on narrative, a huge ancient China world to explore with quite a lot of bandit camps and other activities. There are mythical bosses to fight, a wave-based mode that really tests your combat skill, activities with a time limit focused on parkour. Like, don't expect this game to reinvent the wheel, but they're trying to bring a ton of the familiar gameplay in a new package and for our phone. But the biggest surprise is that there's multiplayer, where you can do specific missions together, fight these mythical bosses with friends, and we can seemingly even free roam the world together to a certain extent, which is really cool for an RPG game like this. But yeah, it being a mobile-only game, it might be a turn-off for you. They do note though that while it's currently only available for mobile devices, that if they have plans to adapt it for other devices, they will inform everyone through their official website and community. So it seems like it's not completely off the table, and we're actually seeing these mobile sort of console experiences coming at least to PC at one point as well. We also learned that right now there are no plans for controller the support, although they do have highly customizable touch controls. But yeah, these mobile games are designed to be supported for years, so maybe it will be added later. We should at least get new story content and further areas of the game added every 3 months, again without charge. Now the only thing that could really harm this game is the monetization, because of course by giving this kind of Odyssey style console experience away for free with a big post launch, they need to make money somehow. Like, that makes sense, but it can still get very aggressive of course in the mobile space. So what we know about Jade's monetization right now is that they will have a gacha system where you have to open loot boxes to get special legendary weapons. There will be cosmetics to buy, probably similar to the item packs, and there's this energy system required for certain activities. So if you have 0 energy, then you will not get the rewards from those activities anymore unless you buy more energy. It seems really similar to Genshin Impact, which on one hand is pretty fair for free players. It just requires you to grind way more than if you would pay. So if you play that game, you kind of know what to expect probably from Jade. Again, they will do a big test very soon, likely at the start of 2024 with more content than the previous beta. I hope I can get in. It will be fun to cover that. And of course, I have many plans for the release that is planned for later in 2024. Like, I think it will be the perfect title to hold us over until the big new console game, Assassin's Creed codename Red, releases even later in 2024, likely October, November. And while we in previous years still got DLC and updates for a previously released Assassin's Creed title, I think that we will not see that kind of support for Mirage. We still get a big New Game Plus and Permadeath mode update in December, but I think that will be the final update that we get for the game. But, and this is kind of interesting and also wild to realize, 2024 will be the final time where we will not have new Assassin's Creed content to play on console and PC throughout the year, because they already confirmed that Assassin's Creed codename Red will be supported for many years with expansions and more. So when that game comes out in holiday 2024, we will see updates and DLCs in the months and even years after that, giving us always the option to experience new Assassin's Creed content if we want. Even when a brand new Assassin's Creed game releases, like Hexe, Red should still get DLC and updates after that, because Hexe will be a brand new type of Assassin's Creed experience, different from Red, that will of course be an RPG like Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla. Again, everything is going to change in 2024. This time next year we will all be playing Red. I know I at least will then also be spending months and years after that in that game as well. But let's take a step back. What do we know about this feudal Japan game already? For one, it of course won't be called Red, but something else, and it should be a very next generation approach to RPGs, at least from a graphical fidelity point of view. Like, we will of course finally ditch the Xbox One and PS4, so we should totally expect a game that looks better than the recent titles and make better use of the SSD for faster load times. We should expect a dynamic world that should evolve around us, and that everything you have on yourself will evolve as you walk through this environment to show the wear and tear, and they also want to improve the animations to make things more realistic. So this is the official info, but as you likely know, there have also been a ton of still unconfirmed but pretty credible leaks. Actually, one of them is from a writer at Ubisoft Quebec who updated his LinkedIn profile showing the female lead character, and she should be called Naoi. And also thanks to Insider Gaming, we learned that the male character will be based on a real-life African samurai who existed in this time, called Yasuke. At the start of the game, both characters are fierce enemies, but that should change over the course of the story, like they're both canon, and we will be controlling both of them, similar to Syndicate. But there should be more variety between the characters, with Naoi having different tools that are more stealth-focused, like a kunai, shuriken, a smoke bomb, and a bell, while Yasuke, the more samurai-focused warrior character, has different, still unknown tools, but they are likely more combat-focused. Some extra highlights from the info that YouTuber Jonathan shared include that the map will be bigger than Valhalla, but smaller than Odyssey. There will be less map markers, more exploration-focused, which was kind of like the sort of trend we saw with the previous games as well. There will be a grappling hook, but it won't be the one that we, for example, saw in a Gotham Knights, where you immediately go to that spot. Now you will have to climb a bit as well. We should also be able to go prone with special small grass, only making us invisible if we lie this way. There should be more depth in combat, thanks to a posture system, where we have to break the posture of an enemy, for example. So some really big core gameplay changes instead of having the similar combat, but abilities stacked onto it. I'm not even sure if abilities will be in this time. Red is totally my most anticipated game right now. I can't wait to see what the makers of Odyssey are doing for a new RPG. We haven't heard anything really about the RPG elements yet, but I totally expect more depth and build customization than before, but we will see. Now, Insider Gaming is expecting that we will already hear more about the game in early 2024, which would be before the usual April-May window, where they usually reveal like a new big Assassin's Creed game. It is of course different this time because we already know what the game will be, and maybe because of Assassin's Creed Infinity, they want to take more time to explain things, so talk about it earlier in the year. I can also see them launch Infinity as like a free platform before Red already, so we can already see and play bits of the modern day story before going to feudal Japan, kind of similar to what Call of Duty is doing with their campaign early access. We will see. I still think that we will get a reveal in like April at the earliest, but I would love to be wrong. So yeah, 2024 will be a fascinating year, the kickoff of a new era for Assassin's Creed. I will of course keep you up to date on everything. First we got that Mirage update, still we'll keep you up to date on that. I'm really excited for New Game Plus. So subscribe if you are new to not miss anything. A like on the video would of course be awesome. And don't check out my previous video on the most recent Mirage update we had by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.